Are you looking for the best monitors for PS5/PS5 Pro of 2025? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best monitors for PS5/PS5 Pro on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Best monitor for PS5/PS5 Pro. The best monitor for PS5 that we've tested is the Asus ROG Swift OLED PG27 UCDM. It's a high-end 4K, 27-inch monitor that's incredible for gaming. While the monitor's max 240Hz refresh rate is too high to use with the PS5 or PS5 Pro, it still supports any signal, including 4K at 120Hz, thanks to its HDMI 2.1 bandwidth. This high refresh rate is also beneficial if you want to connect your gaming PC on the side. On top of that, it has a near-instantaneous response time for crystal-clear motion with fast-moving objects. Besides its high-end performance for console gaming, it also delivers premium picture quality thanks to its QD OLED panel. HDR games look fantastic, with rich, vivid colors. The monitor has near-infinite contrast, displaying deep blacks next to bright highlights in dark rooms, though deep blacks look purple in bright rooms. If you prefer a monitor that displays fairly deep blacks in bright rooms, take a look at the larger LG 32GS95 UEB. However, its colors are less vivid, and it doesn't get as bright in SDR. At number 2. Best upper mid-range monitor for PS5/PS5 Pro. If you don't need the best 4K monitor for PS5 with premium features but still want something with fantastic gaming performance, then an upper mid-range option like the Asus ROG Strix OLED XG27 ACDNG is a great alternative. It's different from the Asus ROG Swift OLED PG27 UCDM because it has a lower 1440p resolution. While this means images are less detailed, it still supports HDMI 2.1 bandwidth and can downscale 4K at 120Hz signals. However, it's otherwise very similar to the PG27 UCDM, as both have QD OLED panels. This means it has a near-instantaneous response time, resulting in extremely sharp motion. It also has vivid colors and displays deep blacks in dark rooms. However, it makes deep blacks look purple in bright rooms. If you prefer a monitor that displays fairly deep blacks even in bright rooms and gets brighter, look into the Asus ROG Strix OLED XG27 AQDMG instead. However, it lacks HDMI 2.1 bandwidth to take full advantage of the PS5 and PS5 Pro. At number 3. Best mid-range monitor for PS5/PS5 Pro. While OLEDs like the Asus ROG Strix OLED XG27 ACDNG and the Asus ROG Swift OLED PG27 UCDM offer the best gaming performance and picture quality, they're also expensive. If you want to save money, look into a mid-range monitor like the LG 32GR93UB. It's a drop in performance and picture quality from the OLED monitors because it has a low contrast ratio, and blacks look gray in dark rooms. It doesn't even have a local dimming feature to further improve the picture quality, but that's the trade-off for getting something cheaper. That said, the 32GR93UB has a higher 4K resolution than the XG27 ACDNG, delivering detailed images. It also has everything you'd expect to find in a gaming monitor, like HDMI 2.1 bandwidth. Even though it doesn't have a near-instantaneous response time like an OLED, motion still looks sharp at any refresh rate. You can also check out the LG 27GR93UB if you prefer a smaller 27-inch screen. It's a similar monitor that tends to cost less, but it has slightly worse motion handling. At number 4. Best budget monitor for PS5/PS5 Pro. If you're looking for the best PS5 monitor on a budget, check out the AOC Q27 G3XMN. It's different from the LG 32GR93UB because it has a 1440p resolution and lacks HDMI 2.1 bandwidth to take full advantage of the PS5, so it doesn't support HDMI 4M VRR to reduce screen tearing with the console. That said, this is what you have to expect from a low-cost monitor, and you can still play games with a 1440p resolution up to 120Hz or downscaled 4K at 60Hz. It's better than the LG and most other entry-level monitors in terms of picture quality because it features mini LED backlighting and has a good local dimming feature. This means it displays deep blacks next to bright highlights, which is great for HDR gaming, and it also gets bright enough to fight glare in well-lit rooms. In terms of gaming, it has a fast response time, but there's some smearing with fast-moving objects. If you don't mind a bit of extra blur with fast-moving objects, and you'd prefer better local dimming performance and a brighter display, check out the similar AOC Q27G40XMN. At number 5. Best cheap monitor for PS5/PS5 Pro. If the AOC Q27G3XMN is still a bit expensive for you, check out the MSI G274 QPF-QD. It performs well for SDR gaming, as it supports 60Hz and 120Hz, like the AOC. It also has low input lag for a responsive feel. Additionally, while its motion handling is a bit worse than the AOC, fast-moving objects still look fairly crisp, and it doesn't have any of the AOC smearing. That said, like the AOC, it doesn't support VRR with the PS5, so motion is less smooth than it could be in games that support VRR. The biggest difference between the AOC and the MSI is how they perform in HDR. While the MSI displays a wide range of colors, they don't look nearly as vivid as those on the AOC. Additionally, it doesn't have a local dimming system, and its contrast isn't good, so deep blacks look gray in a dark room. It also doesn't get bright enough for highlights to pop. However, if you're okay with its limited HDR performance and lack of VRR compatibility, it's a good option for the price.